So I decided to make this a playthrough. Me going through the whole Clockwork DLC on this character. This has been my first playthrough on this channel. If y'all are like didn't see, what is this? Thick furnishing. I don't really care, but anyway, if y'all want to see how I got to this point, watch my previous video, my rants about the Clockwork DLC. But let's go. Let's continue through this for another 15 minutes before I have to go to work.
Swivel swords. Wonderful. Perhaps I failed to impress the gravity of our situation upon you. If my shadow gets away, we may never escape this place. So if you have something to say, say it quickly. What? Yes.
Okay, traps. I always love me some traps. I miss traps. There wasn't that many traps in ESO. Boy, I released you. These ones actually aren't that horrible as to fucking maelstrom traps. Maelstrom traps are the worst.
Well done. Killed by spinning knives is an epitaph worthy of the
Isn't there loot? Really any loot? It's a chest. Melted truck. So this isn't going to be I know everything playthrough. It's be me going through this blind, first time, see what happens. Book, truth and secret. Love how there's stone. Do you morph yet, there, Mr. Betting Edge? No, you're close to being morphed.
spellcraft is all I can muster, but I will aid you as best I can. Lead on.
Mr. Got an AoE. Might as well sell them. Pop that to help me level up faster. Cause I ain't about that slow leveling life. You can block the knockback. Some bookshelves. actually seen a chest yet. Got Maelstrom battle axes spreading from the sky, or falling from the sky. I guess this can continue on. I think heroic slash is low slash. Heroic. Oh, this is gonna be my tank. You guys didn't know this is gonna be my trials tank. Whenever I'm done with him, I'll post out a video build video. I'm gonna start doing PvE videos as well as PvP videos. Like different builds I use and stuff. Okay, get this.
Find the shadows! It's making more of them!
Bird spam, motherfucker.
Stand back. Time to reclaim what is mine. Malia Kepiet Tahir! Drakrakad Sitmorad! Finally. Never know how much you miss a thing. More ridiculous machines? I've had enough of this.
Oh shit.
We still have a long way to go.
Bruh. Bruh. Like what? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20 motherfucking bodies and he just walks away. 20! This bitch just murdered 20! And he's just like, yep. I know. I'm badass. Just walks away. Fucking murders 20 of them. And walks away. Like nothing. Just walks. He walks away. Like what? Fuck out of here, dude. What are you looking at, Rosie? I'm looking at you. I'm watching you. I'm looking at what you're throwing down. For my previous video, I forgot to cover what types of sets there were. So, this will help. This is a playthrough. This will help.
Clockwork City. Finally. Sotherseal's brass fortress waits at the end of this road. We should go there at once.
Let me
Keen
pull
to
up
find out
the
who sent us
Clockwork
on
City
that
real quick.
delightful jaunt through the
So,
waters.
Clockwork City, the dungeon sets for light armor. Spell crit, spell damage. When you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to summon a venomous fabricate that charges the nearest enemy, dealing 10,000 shock damage to all enemies in its path, knocking them into the air and stunning them for 2 seconds. This effect can occur every 10 seconds. So this is a good set. I can see me running this on a Sork, on a Templar, on any of my magic characters actually. The medium set, it's called Unfathomable Darkness. The light armor set is called the Mag Tinker, but the Unfallible Darkness set is called, it does weapon crit, physical pen, weapon damage. When you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to call a murder of crows around you for 12 seconds. Every 3 seconds, a crow will be sent to affect the nearest enemy within 12 meters of you, dealing 4,000 physical damage. It can occur at 15 seconds. See, this set is okay, but I'd use this as a jewelry set and a two-handed or sword and board. Or just the regular 3-piece for the physical pen. But that extra damage is nice, so I might have to farm out the Unfathomable Darkness for my characters. Just get the jewelry and then the two-handed weapons, which are probably going to be going for 1,000,000 in fucking ESO because they're new. And last but not least, we have the heavy armor set called Live Wire. 4% healing taken, max health, 4% healing taken. When you take damage, you have a 25% chance to overload your circuits, applying concussion to enemies within 8 meters of you and healing you for 1,000 of each enemy hit. It can occur every 10 seconds. So this is a good PV tanking set. Now the crafted sets, it's called Innate Axiom. It's a 2-piece set. Or I think it's a two trait set. Let me look. This is yes, it requires 2 traits, so this is very cheap to make. Max magic, stam, spell, and weapon crit, and you'd have 400, and that's 400 spell and weapon damage to your class abilities. So that set really helps. Now, the heavy armor set is called well, it's not really heavy armor, but people would probably make them heavy armor. The next set is called Fortified Brass. Max health, physical and spell resist, more physical and spell resistance. So that's your tanking set for max resistances. And last but not least, the mechanical acuity. It's spell and weapon damage, max magic and max stam. When you deal damage, you have a 15% to gain an unhearing mechanical vision and causes your attacks to always crit for the next 5 seconds, and that can occur every 18 seconds. Now, with the new trial, there are new sets. There's 2 pieces and 1 pieces. So let's start up with Chaotic Whirlwind set. This is your dual wield set. You can only get the sword, you only get the axes, the maces, the sword, and the dagger. You can't get a shield of this. So this will not help any sword and board DPS characters. This is only dual wield. So 2 items. When you deal damage with Whirlwind, you add 10 seconds to your lacerate, twin slashes, and blade cloak overtime effects. And this effect can occur once per cast of each of the abilities. So it technically has no cooldown as long as you steel, tornado, or whirlwind weave your attacks. Now, this is for Destro Staff users, which is going to become the new meta for Maelstrom. It's called Concentrated Force. So it's a 1-piece item, either Inferno, Lightning, or Ice. Force Shock always applies burning, concuss, and chill status effects. This effect can occur 4 seconds per enemy. Now, you're thinking per enemy in 4 seconds. That's not a long cooldown. No, it's almost instantaneous. It's just, it's for solo, when you're fighting your 1v1 on any character that uses Force Pulse, which would be your main, like with Sorks, I've seen some, I guess anybody that uses Destro Resto set up for PvP uses Force Shock. But this works every 4 seconds, so it's a 4-second cooldown, which it applies all these. So it's a very, very, very strong set that is probably going to get nerfed in the upcoming patches. The next is a sword and board set. This is the defensive posture or position, defensive position thing. 2 pieces. When you reflect or absorb a spell projectile with defensive posture, which is in the sword and board skills, take the force skill down. You restore 2,000 magic if you absorb a spell projectile. If you don't, you get 500 magic instead. Which this helps in like mag decay sustain. So if you have your sets where you are running just a random sword and board, just so you can get it like another 2-piece or something, this defensive posture is actually going to be very helpful. But with that comes, or any stamina DPS. but with that comes the fact that on a mag decay, you're going to be using stamina. And most mag decays are permablock builds. Say most, because not all are permablock builds, but the majority of them are permablock builds. So that affects that. And then last but not least is the or no, never mind, not last but not least, we still have 3 other types. So this is the two-handed. Now this is going to become the meta in place of the Maelstrom weapons, and I'll get explaining that here shortly. So it's called Discipline Slash Set. You get an axe, a maul, and a greatsword. I think they can become Nirnhoned too, so you can farm it out for a Nirnhoned. Or you can farm it out and get like one shit trait, but then have enough to transmute the things to give you Nirnhoned. So the Discipline Slash Set, it's a one-piece item, so it's like your Maelstrom. When you deal damage with a reverse slice, you generate up to 15 ultimate based on how much bonus execute damage is dealt. So, with saying that, those who are execute spammers are going to become a thing. Like, people are just going to spam execute to get ultimate. But if you get an execute when somebody dies, and say you overkill them, like say because I've hit like 15k reverse slices on my stam DK before the patch. So that would give me up to probably 15 ultimate because of that much damage is over dealt. So next is the bow, which is piercing spray set. It's a one piece. When you deal damage with arrow spray, you cause enemies hit to take 50% more damage from the next direct damage portion of your snipe, scatter shot, or poison arrow. So this is the damage of it hitting the target, not the damage of the overtime, not the dot. It's the damage of when you actually hit somebody with a poison inject. So people are going to be using arrow spray more often in PvP because of the fact that they could you could arrows spray, weave, poison inject to deal more damage. Last but not least, it's the restoration staff. It's called Timeless Blessing Set. It's a one piece as well. When you cast Blessing of Protection, which is, do I have rest of stuff locked in this? I guess not. Blessing of Protection is the combat prayer. If you ever got it, it's the third skill in the restoration staff tree. Your next grand healing and regeneration of steadfast ward is reduced by 50% if it's within the 5 seconds of you hitting Blessing of Protection, combat prayer, or the other morph. I don't even know what the other morph is, but that is all the sets of Clockwork City. So I was saying that the Clockwork weapons are going to become meta now. What are you? Let's see, Venomous Fabricant. So this is what the one set will summon. Or just get shut down. Shut down by the bear. Just like destroyed by the bear. And I'm assuming some of them are, I think it's a public dungeon. Or something, I don't know. Not a public dungeon, but like a room. Elegant replication discovered. Oh, it's so prettyful. So prettyful. Look at this rock formation. Really, there's people here. What is this? Is there a quest? There might be a quest here. There must be somebody. There's somebody here for a quest. But I don't see him. Really? CP10 healer vet trials. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, King. King at Bedeau or whatever the fuck your name is. Like everyone's gonna be asking for those trial groups now. Because they want those weapons. Who's talking? Well, guys, thank you for watching up to this part. This is part 1 of my Clockwork City playthrough. I'll continue this mission when I come back home from work. But thank y'all for watching. Have a nice day, afternoon, morning, just overall week. Have a good weekend. I'll probably be on later tonight around in the next maybe 5 hours. Who knows? Thank y'all for watching. Bye.